All right, fellas. So I'm going to just shoot from the hip here on this one. So we're summoning for the Path to Power Kid Goku. Ended up doing, by the way, there's World Tournament rewards in there as well, as you could obviously see. Some of those GSSR tickets and the medals and whatnot. All right. Ended up doing quite a few stones, quite a few Dragon Stones on this banner. Ended up doing all of the global tickets, and didn't turn out the best. Did not turn out the best. Oh yeah, there's the best unit in the game on the banner, Raditz. You know, it's like you really stop and think about things sometimes, and you look at this banner, and oh my god, is this like the worst banner in all of history. This banner has the likes of Raditz, who, all memes aside, like best unit in the game and stuff, like all memes aside, he is so horrible. Particularly, I mean, if you're not rocking him at rainbow status, like, bruh, Raditz is unrunnable, right? In the majority of content, I mean, he could fucking crush the quest stages. Like, he can crush story events and Dokkan events. But anywhere else, man, this guy, you know, again, Raditz is the third unit on the banner. He's the newest returning unit on the banner, right? So Raditz came out back in August here on Global. So it actually has been quite a thrilling wait. Oh, great, there's Hachan. Guess what? Doesn't matter if you run Hachan without a Kid Goku, right? Hachan loses all effectiveness if there's no Kid Goku, right? Particularly the Path to Power Kid Goku. There's really no sense in running him at all. You know, I guess you can run him. Well, let me think here. I guess you could run him on the EZA Kid Goku's team. I guess you could, right? That he does lead Dragon Ball Saga and Youth. You know, other than that, you know, Hachan's great. I mean, Hachan's probably the best banner unit out there. But anyway, man. But anyway, kind of looking at the banner, like the banner itself is just, I mean, it's beyond abysmal, right? So keep this in mind, right? So in gacha years, right, or whatever, like we're about a half a year behind the JP side of the game. The global came out in the beginning of July. JP came out around the end of January, back in was 2015. Oh my god, dude! So yeah, 2015 in July is when global came out. JP in January of that same year. So you look at it that way, and so like a lot of these units, like you can say, oh yeah, potential EZAs. And it's like, that's great, you know what I mean? Yeah, like the EZA of STR Videl. I'm sure everyone's holding, you know, waiting on bated breath for that one. You know, you could say STR Bojack. I actually would say he would be kind of an impactful EZA. And then you look at Turles, right? So Turles already has his EZA. Turles is one of these EZAs where he's kind of just like in between, right? You know, Turles, just overall, right? If you can get him to transform, ironically, you want Turles to transform, right? So he can actually stack attack and defense. And if you can actually get him to do multiple super attacks, he can actually look pretty fucking nasty. But I seldom get him to transform these days. I really do, which is so funny. Because for years and years, I hated Turles because he would always ruin my showcases. And now I can't ever get him to transform, it seems. And honestly, if you're not up against any, you know, big-time STR baddies, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really running Turles. He is a solid support unit. I guess you can run him as, like, a floating, you know, 7th option on the team or whatever. I guess 6th option on the team. But you're not really running him for his leader skill. Same thing with any of these units, you know. Again, going back to Bojack. Bojack, actually, that Time Traveler's leader skill is kind of nice. But guess what? 150 ain't cutting it. You ain't running a 150% leader skill in the Ultimate Red Zone. Not really in any of the stages. I guess you could probably get away with it against, like, Legic or, like, Lord Lude or something. But you're really not running that leader skill, you know what I mean? If you're running Time Travelers, you're just running a full Dragon Ball Heroes team is more than likely what you're doing. Or like a crossover team, because they're mostly all of them are on Time Travelers, right? So, but getting back to Path of Power, let's go ahead and talk about the boy, the boy wonder, Kid Goku, right? So the Movie Heroes, by the way, he's on Movie Heroes, which I would definitely argue is still the best team in the game. If you want to tell me Vegeta and Trunks' team is the best team in the game, that's fine. You won't really hear me argue about it. I would definitely just argue, like, let's just, like, pump the brakes here. These 8th anniversary units are very, very good. I really like their new mechanics, but lest we forget about the Movie Heroes team with the likes of the Gamma. The Movie Heroes team is just a fun team to run. And the Path to Power Kid Goku, man, he fits so well on any single one of these teams you run him on, with his support, with his orb changing, his active skill, his leader skill's kind of whatever, you know what I mean? It's Dragon Ball Saga, and it's Dragon Ball Saga and Youth, right? Ah, yes, and then Exploding Rage, right? That coveted Exploding Rage team, right? So the Path to Power Kid Goku's leader skills, whatever, right? But he does a lot, right? He's one of these units that you can just kind of throw on any team, right? Like his unit super attack is nice. All you're doing is you're getting a little bit of extra attack out of him. You're squeezing a little bit more out of him with that unit super attack. You're massively raising your attack versus greatly raising your attack. The one nice thing about this Kid Goku, again, we talked about the support. He does this thing that not really any other units in the game do, where he's providing damage reduction to the whole rotation if you're getting 7 Key Spheres. He himself is getting damage reduction with Key Spheres obtained as well. He's really good. He's a monster in today's meta, and he's one of these teams. He's kind of one of these units in the same way of, like, shout out to the JP side, but like AGL LR Gohan, his EZA. He's one of these units where you just kind of like throw him on whatever team and he's going to excel. You can put him in slot 1. You can put him in slot 3. If you're Truth, you're probably running a, full dodge build, whatever. You're probably running him in slot 1. I have to admit, giving him a full dodge build is probably not a horrible idea. Getting him to dodge the occasional super attack is really, really nice. There is my precisely 8 millionth STR Videl, by the way. But again, this Path to Power Kid Goku, he's really, really good. Again, the full dodge build, probably not a horrible idea for him. I think I would probably go not quite full dodge, but I would do a lot of dodge. I might maximize his dodge, like maybe through some skill orbs or something like that. Regardless of which way you slice it, I imagine, maybe I'm the only one. I'm not always constantly updating my unit's skill orbs. Usually if I give them a solid skill orb, that's theirs. Like, they're just getting it, you know what I mean? So regardless of which way you do it, whether you're going to go hidden potential system or with skill orbs, I think you should maybe give him a little bit of extra dodge, because he does have a chance to crit in his passive as well. There's my 58th STR Bojack too. So, but again, he's a really, really busted-ass unit. I have to admit, so we can kind of, move on from the banner and the quality of the units and stuff. The banner is horrible. If you're a spender in this game, maybe you want to pick up the Pilaf Strove packets and just hope you get lucky, right? That's pretty much what you're going for. You kind of looking at the Pilaf Strove. I must admit, it's not these 5-unit multis. They're kind of fun. They're kind of kooky. And when they work out, they work out usually in big time for you. You know what I mean? I was able to pull Hachan from the Pilaf Strove. Oh my god, dude. AGL Turles, please leave me alone. Oh my god, dude. I'm going to have nightmares of that fucking pose of AGL Turles. But again, another thing about the banner, we'll move on, I promise. We'll move on. But the banner is so bad. One thing about the banner, however, is it is a 7-unit banner. So 7 featured units. Obviously, you can pull any other non-Dokkan Fest, non-LR on the banner as well, unfeatured. That's just the way it works, right? But you should not have to dump a zillion fucking stones into the banner to be able to pull one singular copy, particularly when you do the Pilaf's Trove as well. Now, you look at what the Pilaf's Trove pack is giving you. So, Pilaf's Trove, this time around, you were able to do 11 5-unit multis, 55 tickets if you picked up all of Pilaf's Trove, right? And you look at that, and it seems pretty good. You're getting like 11 multis out of it, which is, it was solid, right? That's 11 guaranteed SSRs, right? But you keep in mind, you may, I'm kind of going back and forth. Obviously, you're getting a lot of extra stuff. You're getting some, you know, quality skill orbs and some meat items and training items and this and that. You're getting a lot of that stuff for sure. But you look at actually pulling the units. Unless you really do need to get lucky. Keep in mind, you know, in any given slot, you have a 10% chance of pulling an SSR, minus the last slot, which is a 100% chance of pulling an SSR. So you really only have 4 additional chances to get SSRs, right? And of the 10% chance, it's going to be a 5% chance of a featured and a 5% chance of an unfeatured unit. That's just the way these traditional banners kind of work. So you look at it that way, and like, you may just be better off getting stones if you're only looking to pull the unit, if you don't care about skill orbs, if you're only, if you don't care about getting training items, you know, or whatever, awakening medals, you guys get it. You're really minimizing your odds of pulling the unit, right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Like, I think overall the Trove, it's ordinarily a pretty good value. However, I'm starting to have second thoughts about it. Maybe it's just because of this deep dicking I got from Dokkan. But again, you look at like a 7 featured unit banner, and you really should, if you're going like 500, 600 stones on a banner, you really should be pulling the main featured unit. You really should be. If you're going beyond that, you really are starting to get into shaft territory. I think the amount of stones I did in Dragon Stones I did in this video, I think I did all of Pilaf's Trove. I think I did 900 Dragon Stones. I think. It's too many. Like, there's another fucking AGL Turles. Another Hotshot. I mean, who gives a fuck, right? I don't have Kid Goku at this point. Like, what's the point? There's no point in having Hotshot. I'm gonna, like, maybe think about grinding his links, and what? For what? To never use him until I get Pat the Power Kid Goku? It's just like, what is the actual point here? Like, what are we doing? So, you know, it just really sucks when you invest so much of, like, your time and your resources into the game, and for the game to not give a fuck. It really does kind of hurt, especially when you look at, you know, what happened to me on the Golden Frieza banner. I did not post a video because I literally, like, I had a bunch of recordings saved, and some more units. You may have a hard time believing this. Oh, fake out. Who's it gonna be? Yeah, another Bojack. You may have a hard time believing this. I don't need STR Bojack. I don't need AGL Turles. I don't need STR Videl. You know, Raditz is a meme. I really don't care. Don't need any of those units, right? I forgot what I was even saying. But when you give so much to the game, and the game just doesn't fucking matter, it doesn't care. The game just doesn't care. Oh, that's what I was talking about, like Golden Frieza shafting, my even deeper dicking on the Golden Frieza banner. I had so much footage of summons. I did so many. I kind of lost track of how many multis I did on that banner. Guess what? Didn't pull Frieza. I pulled unfeatured LRs more times than I pulled. Like, I pulled like 2 STR Kaioken Gokus. I pulled 2 Int LR Gohans. I pulled 2 of the Tech Goku Gohan. Which, again, you know, whale problems, I guess. But, like, I don't need those units anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't need them. So that, again, when you give so much to the game, I have, like, almost 500 level 10 Link units. You know, I've put in, I'm ranked 999 now. I've put in so much time. I've sank so much time into this game. and I just want to pull that little PNG. Like that guy I just cracked the code on. All I want to do is for him to show up in my multis. And he just won't show up. Just will not show up. So, let this be a lesson to all of you kiddies out there. When the banner is bad, you really should not summon. You really just should stay away from the banner, and this is exactly why. Again, you know, I've rainbowed STR Bojack on the banner. I've rainbowed AGL Turles on the banner. I'm pretty sure, I think I pulled 3 or 4 Videls. I pulled 0 Raditzes. I actually ended up buying Raditz with coins. I know that's crazy. I bought him with coins because I didn't have him. But I've got coins to spare at this point. So I didn't pull any Raditzes. I pulled 2 Hachans, which is great. You know, again, but it's just like, you really need the bifecta there. You really need it. You need both of them for Hachan to be good. So it just feels like even more of a cock tease only pulling Android 8. You know what I mean? So, but when the banner is this is why a lot of the big YouTubers will tell you not to summon on these shitty banners, right? When the banner is shitty, you really should run for the hills. And I mean that, and you guys can use this as an example. You know, just this anger and rage, which is going to be followed by probably sadness from this stupid mobile game that I've sank so much time into. And it's just like, here we are, man. All I want to do is just like have fun with the new unit. And, like, you know, do some no-item runs, have fun in the events, you know, do Ultimate Red Zone and this and that. And I guess, like, all luck levels out, you know what I mean? I had incredible, insane, crazy, mega ultimate luck on, like, the Gamma's banner, for instance. I pulled, you know, I think I pulled 8 Gamma 2s and 3 Gamma 1s without even really trying. There's 2 Turleses, by the way. I loved that multi. The superhero banner with Fizz, LR Ultimate Gohan, and Power Awakened Piccolo. Got both of them with 2 dupes. Pretty minimal stonage, I would say. I don't really remember. Again, that was one of those banners I really lost track of how many multis I did. But, again, I had pretty good luck there. You know, Int Zamasu really didn't have the best luck on Int Zamasu's banner. That one kind of hurt. A little bit. I ended up pulling 1 copy for Zamasu. I've had some epic shafts in the past. It really seems like my bad luck is back. And it's not a good feeling, right? Up until Int Zamasu, I was having pretty good luck for the most part on banners. I think I did like 5 multis on Raditz's banner. That's the last banner I really remember not pulling the main featured. There was a minute there where, other than Raditz, I had every LR, every Dokkan Fest in the game. And then all of a sudden, like, Golden Frieza hit. Did just an ungodly amount of stones on that banner. At the very least, I bulked up on some yellow coins, so I'll be able to, you know, get a couple of copies of my LR of choice. Probably Golden Frieza when he comes back around. But like I said, guys, I'm gonna let this be a lesson to myself. I'm gonna let this be a lesson to y'all. Like, sometimes you just gotta take your L and you just gotta walk away. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're like Truth and Goresh and you're using Goresh's dad's credit card or something, you know what I mean? You gotta take your L sometimes, man. And you slap it on your forehead and you wear it around for a day or 2. And guess what? You feel better, because that's how it always happens. You know what I mean? You just say, whatever. You know what I mean? So, about to pull another fucking Turles, by the way. And what hurts, I think, even more is when you get a lot of featured units. You know what I mean? Because they could all be the main headline featured unit. So I'm going to wrap up this video right now and quit bitching. Slap a like for my shame and despair, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.